Out of all of the characters in the Street Fighter universe, Akuma is one of the strongest of the Street Fighter lineup. Over and over, Akuma overpowers most of his opponents, even destroying his own master in battle for the sake of pride and victory. But did you know that there was a Street Fighter character who has defeated Akuma? In this episode, we will go in depth about a Street Fighter character, Jen, former legendary assassin and martial arts teacher of Chun-Li. The story behind this legendary showdown. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the SciPunk feed. It all starts in the third issue of the Udon comics, Street Fighter II, when Ryu, while on a spiritual quest to control his dark instinct, decides to train with Dalsum, one of India's top yoga masters. In the beginning of training, Dalsum sees Ryu with a clouded and shredded mind. Dalsum understands Ryu's level of strength, but also understands that most of his training must be undone if he wants to reach enlightenment in battle. While in battle against Ryu, Dalsum stands in Ryu's head and quotes, "Until you have learned the folly of fighting, with rage in your fists, and given up winning as your ultimate and only goal, your mind will remain clouded and open for attack. As you are, you will never find victory against Akuma." Dalsum understands that there is darkness within him. His methods of training are very different from his former master Goken. Dalsum knows this is the area in which he must focus most of Ryu's training. We can see a young Ryu trying to find answers, as well as being clouded by his own thoughts. Hopefully, the training will help him find his way. While in meditation, Dalsum emphasizes on the balance between body and mind, clearing your emotions, and not letting give in to hate and rage. Dalsum tells him, when you have calmed the fluctuations of your mind and emptied it from negative emotions, the energies within you will flow in harmony, and you will attain your true power. Even if it's justified, you cannot allow yourself to ever give in into hate and rage. When you fight with implicit concern for the well-being of your opponent, as well as yourself, you will realize that victory can always be yours. Understanding this, Yoga Master Dalsum tries to get Ryu on the right track, which is a difficult task, knowing that his master was recently murdered by Akuma, and Ryu's inner powers are fed by dark feelings and overwhelming emotions. Dalsum creates a test to prove Ryu's skills, to understand Ryu's motive so far. The test is a mere illusion of Akuma, which is intended to take the best out of Ryu. Ryu recognizes that Akuma was only an illusion. He quickly understood that he had failed Dalsum's test. Dalsum questions Ryu. Are you truly training in order to seek justice? Or has your request to avenge your master merely provided an excuse to satisfy a darker, hidden desire? Knowing this fact, Dalsum understands that his training will be meaningless to Ryu, since he is full of hatred and only follows the path of vengeance for the death of Master Goken. With that in mind, Dalsum stops Ryu's training, stating that he can no longer continue. Ryu must first sort his feelings before he can move to the next step of enlightenment. Ryu, saddened and confused, replies to Dalsum, "Perhaps it's not my fate to defeat Akuma. Master Goken was the only one who ever did, and he is no longer here to show me the way." Or so he thought. Dalsum knew someone else who had defeated Akuma. Ryu was begging to know the person's name. Dalsum states that the man he wants to meet is just as dangerous as Akuma. Granting Ryu's request, he lets Ryu choose his own destiny, giving Ryu the information of the fighter's location and name. Arriving at the location, Ryu senses the person and says, "I can feel a fighting aura resonating behind me. Could it be as powerful as Akuma's? Are you Jen, the man who once defeated Akuma?" In the Udon 2 Street Fighter II, issue number 4, we find that Jen is explaining to Ryu how everything came about. Jen explaining to Ryu, "My life was very different when I first faced the man you speak of, Ryu. At that time in my life, I had long since mastered the deadly arts that I had dedicated my life to, but I still hungered for battle. That hunger was what brought me to face the most dangerous and deadly of fighters. Opponents I hoped would present a worthy challenge to me, and this Akuma who challenged me was worthy indeed. Never had I fought someone with such ferocity and rage, such precision and speed, or such power. I thought I had finally met an equal who could provide me with what I sought, the possibility of defeat. At that time, Jen was an undefeated martial artist in its category. His abilities surpassed everyone, longing for a worthy opponent. He explains to Ryu, "I remember tasting the pain of battle that had been unknown to me for so long. Akuma reminded me what it felt like to be in a battle, in which the outcome was uncertain, and achieving victory would require exploiting my abilities to the fullest extent. I was grateful to him for reminding me of what it was to fight, but Akuma had not yet mastered his dark power. The same murderous intent that filled my own fighting style had not yet matured within him, and I took advantage of that fact. But Akuma had somehow done what no one else ever had. He had survived the deadliest of my techniques. I could have finished him then and there, but I was far too intrigued by his abilities to end his life. Instead, I spared him, agreeing to face him again after he had mastered his arts." Jen recognized the fact that he was on another level of power than that of Akuma's, but also recognized his future potential. As a fighter, Jen understands that a worthy opponent is more important than an easy victory. Jen was older and more experienced in martial arts. Akuma might have been younger and stronger, but this time Jen's experience and superior ability destroyed the raging demon to the point of live forgiveness. Well, Jen was known as one of the legends in martial arts in his native Hong Kong area. He is also known as the man who killed hundreds and the great legendary assassin from the underground world in Hong Kong. His reputation was of an invincible warrior whose skill and technique earned him the name the Devil of Hong Kong. Jen has proven to be one dominant opponent, a Street Fighter character that with his power and technique outsmarted the legendary Akuma. We have seen Jen's true strength of his lethal technique, to the point that Akuma was nearly finished. He only survived by Jen's mercy. Akuma is a strong fighter, but at the time he was no match for the force of Jen. Jen is similar to Pai Mei, the master of martial arts, leader of the White Lotus clan. Jen uses the art of dimmak, pressure point strikes, a style of martial arts practiced by Pai Mei in many Shaw Brothers studio films. Touch of death, or death point striking, refers to any martial arts technique reputed to kill, with seemingly less than lethal force targeted at specific regions of the body. Dimmak is depicted as a secret body of knowledge, with techniques that attack pressure points and meridians, set to incapacitate or sometimes cause immediate or even delayed death to an opponent. In spite of the lack of scientific evidence for what has been called as martial arts touch of death, trauma may still cause catastrophic results if applied to known pressure points under certain circumstances. Commotio cordis, for instance, is a disrupted heart rhythm caused by a blow to the area directly over the heart, the precordial region, at a critical point during the cycle of a heartbeat, causing cardiac arrest. It is possible that Jen's martial arts style was a homage to classic 1983 manga anime Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star. Genshiro's Hokuto Hyakuretsuken may have been the basis for his Hakyurenko technique. Jen is an elderly man who wears a stern expression most of the time. Standing at just 5 feet 5 inches, he is amongst the shortest male characters in the series. His clothes is loose and purple, with a red slash around them, as well as red Chinese martial arts shoes with white socks. He has white hair and a long white beard. When he first debuted in Street Fighter, he had black pupils in his eyes, and his sash was red. But in recent incarnations, he has completely white eyes. Prior to his recent appearance in Street Fighter 4, Jen had short hair. In the Street Fighter 4 games, his hair not only has grown much longer, but he also keeps it tied in a formal bun at the back of his head. In most recent games, his entire body also has wrinkles from aging, including his face. Jen is a quiet, precise, and wise warrior who takes fighting very seriously and prefers to fight honorable, formidable opponents like Ryu and Akuma. Although he is an elderly man, Gen is extremely sharp, his speech displaying a weathered and coarse tone. As a man who ponders death quite often, most likely due to his condition, he is not hesitant to express such dark thoughts regarding the inevitable passing of everything, especially to those who strive to die as a fighter. Gen never imposes his power over those who cannot fight or kill the defenseless, despite being a powerful assassin and legend in the Chinese underworld. Gen, like Akuma, fights as a test of strength and power. However, he is also respectful of younger fighters like Sakura and Ibuki, as he values the true spirit of martial arts and relies on his own strength and honor. Chun-Li was also trained by him in her youth, which is an indication of his inner goodness. Gen uses various kung fu styles in his assassinations. Due to the unique balance of two fighting styles in Street Fighter Alpha 2, players can switch between Mantis, So, and Crane, Shi, during gameplay. His martial arts style is said to have originated from a master, who is said to have tested his style on the battlefields of the Boxer rebellions against the British. Gen is most effective when combining both styles, often switching between Mantis and Crane mid-attack. However, this makes him a difficult character to master, and his low stun and stamina leave even less room for error. There are two approaches taken by Gen's styles. The Mantis style favors ground pressure, spacing, and approaches that can function as solid reverse. As with regular Crane style moves, a multi-angle approach is used, with the use of normal and special moves that are tailored to confuse and punish foes, as well as special standard moves, such as standing overhead medium punch and standing heavy punch with low impact. Both Gen and Guy retain their natural chain combo abilities in the Street Fighter Alpha series, and both would carry this trait into later appearances. Mantis Soul style attacks are characterized by linear motion attacks and pressure point finger strikes, such as the Hyakurenko, 100 chain hooks, in which Gen strikes the opponent rapidly with hand stamps, and the Gekiro, inverted cascade, a vertical jump kick with repeated follow-up kicks. His super combos, while using the Soul style, are the Sane, Cruel Shadow, and the Shitenshu, Death Point Curse. Crane Shi style training emphasizes mobility, swipe, and clear techniques, including the snake drill or rolling tumble into a forward finger stab, and the Wandering Fang, a wall leap with several variation moves. Among his super combos are the Gyakoha, Snake Bite Opening, and the Koga, Lunatic Fang. Additionally, he has a crouching heavy punch he calls the Kiro, Dangerous Temper, which is considered one of the series' strongest counter-hit damage attacks. Gen loses the ability to switch between fighting styles when he is played on Exism mode in Street Fighter Alpha 3. As a result, he uses techniques from both styles, except the Oga, and his sole super combo is the Sane. Despite having two fighting styles, Gen is one of the only two characters who have 4 ultra combos. The other is Dan, and one of only 2 characters who have 2 super combos. Gen's stages often depict him fighting in his city in Hong Kong, away from the public eye, in the heart of its city. These often are depicted as alleyways in the night, or if in the day, it's in a rather seedy, gloomy, and unscrupulous locations, such as rundown and dangerous sections of town. Hong Kong, officially the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republics of China, is a metropolitan area and special administrative region of China, on the eastern Pearl River Delta in South China. Hong Kong is a highly developed territory, and ranks 4th in the UN Human Development Index. The city has the largest number of skyscrapers of any city in the world, and its residents have some of the highest life expectancies in the world. The dense space led to a developed transportation network, with public transport rates exceeding 90%. Hong Kong is ranked 4th in the Global Finance Centers Index. So what did you like about Gen's origins? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the center stage.